Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Catherine, and in today's video I'm going to go over probably the top mistakes that I see on applications and tell you how you can fix them. If you are a referral of mine, which if you're not a referral, instructions below on how to become a referral of mine, and or apply to Outschool. If you apply using my link, you become my referral and I help you. Tons of resources, and I offer one-on-one help, and one of those one-on-one help options is to look over your application. You're welcome to send it to me in a Google document and I will look over it and critique it for you, as long as you are a referral of mine. It does take time for me to do, so that's why I only do it for my referrals that I can check in the system. Also, if you do apply, please just use your first and last name. Please don't put Miss, Mr., teacher, any of that as the first name, because that's what Outschool says your name is, and then I can't check and see if you are a referral of mine. So please just put your first name. But anyway, all that to say, I help my referrals out, alright? All the mistakes I see that I feel like I'm always repeating myself about, so I'm gonna make a video about it so I don't have to repeat myself. I'm gonna make this video as fast as I can. However, I feel like it's gonna be a very lengthy video, so check the description for timestamps to see your specific question, see your specific answer. I don't know, but check there. It might be there, maybe it's not. But this video is especially for people who are reapplying to Outschool, because on the surface everyone's applications look okay, like they look good, like, you know, they sound nice, but when you dig a little deeper you realize that it's not what Outschool is looking for. So I hope that makes sense. I'm gonna dive into it right now. Also, if you're watching this video and you're like, oh, she's told me that, please don't take it personally. I'm not gonna use anyone's examples, but if I've told it to you, I've told it to what feels like hundreds of thousands of people. So you're not the only one who's made this mistake. So let me jump into it now. I'm gonna go over the written portion and then the video portion. So to start, before I even get into the specifics of the written portion, I just wanna say that you need to have grammar, good punctuation, and it has to read nicely. It has to flow nicely. What Outschool is looking for is that you have great communication skills, that you know how to write, and you know how to write well and communicate well. Why? Because you're going to be talking to a lot of parents. You're going to be writing out your class descriptions, and they want to know that you can handle that and not sound like that a newborn baby wrote it. Okay? Something to help you with flow, just to make sure it reads nicely, is make sure every new topic is a new paragraph. Okay, like in your experience, make sure everything is, you know, if you're like, oh, I was a babysitter for 10 years and, you know, you talk about that for a while, go to another paragraph to talk about your experience in the daycare, or, you know, your experience being a swim lesson teacher, and so on and so forth. Always start with a new paragraph, but read it aloud. Read it out loud, and if it sounds choppy, if it sounds like a second grader wrote this for you, you need to rewrite these sentences, okay? Or have someone help you rewrite the sentences, or have someone look over it with you, but it needs to flow. It needs to sound nice. So I hope that made sense. And also punctuation. Punctuation and grammar are huge. Now, I'm no queen on grammar. I'm no punctuation expert, but I do know a couple of things. And again, I'm no expert, so I don't know everything. And you don't need to know everything, but for example, if you don't know how to use a colon or a semicolon or any other sort of fancy punctuation, avoid it at all costs. You can get by with just commas and periods, and make sure you're putting the commas in the correct spot. And grammar, you just have to have great grammar. Again, I'm no expert. According to my mother, who always corrects me, I don't always talk the best, but do your best and have someone look over it. My biggest suggestion is to have someone read it, besides me, because honestly, I'm not gonna correct all your grammar mistakes. I'll correct things here and there that I see, but I'm not gonna rewrite sentences for you. I'm not gonna rewrite colons and stuff for you. That's on you. Okay, boo? Okay. So that's just overall this whole written application. So let's get into question one, which is experience. For experience, you need to explain everything. Everything, okay? Everything. Say, I would definitely put any experience you have. If you're having trouble coming up with experience, go watch my video on experience, especially if you're like, I don't have any experience. Go watch it. Everyone has experience. It'll really help you with that, so I'm not going to get into all that right now, or else this video is going to be 17 years long. Definitely watch that. Definitely put the dates, and I would put at least 3 to 4 different teaching with children experiences, working with children experiences. I would write anywhere from 3 to 5 sentences for each experience, and I would separate it out into paragraphs. It looks the best, it shows that you communicate well, it shows that you explain well, and also for every little thing, every little, teaching program you did, or any sort of, if you did VIP Kid or Palfish, you need to explain what VIP Kid and Palfish are, because not everyone knows what VIP Kid and Palfish are. Plus, even if they do, just explain it, just for fun, because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for great communicators. Also, don't say, this is one of my biggest points. They're all my big points, but one that really drives me crazy is when people put, I made class super fun, or I made this fun. They don't care. That sounds like fluff, because it is fluff. You need to explain how you made it fun. Did you make games to teach the students? Did you do, certain activities with the students? And what are those activities? What are those games? How did you make it fun? Not, I made it fun. They don't care. Explain how. So you can explain how you taught. You can also explain your philosophy on teaching. So what big thing Outschool is big on is engagement and interaction. They want their classes to be engaging, interactive. That's what makes Outschool different from normal school. And there's no wrong way to teach. You can definitely have lecture classes and stuff like that, but they are looking for like interactive stuff. What activities did you do with the kids? What games did you play with them? How did they learn? Definitely talk on your philosophy on teaching. And mine, what I put is, my philosophy is that learning should be fun, engaging, and interactive, because if it's fun and engaging, they'll remember it longer, and we all have a great time in class if it's fun and engaging, right? Right. So that's kind of mine. You can take that, twist and turn it however you want to. I don't care. But yeah, try and incorporate that. My biggest thing is explain how, why, what program is it? Explain every minute detail. Okay? Okay. Even if you're like, oh, everyone knows what a co-op is. Well, some people don't. And the person reading your application probably doesn't, because that's just the way the world works. So explain. So the next question, the degree question, the certification question. So in this question, you definitely want to put all the certifications you've ever had, I guess. A lot of people put like CPR and stuff like that. I have those certifications. I didn't put that on my application. I just didn't, but you can. That's great. Cool. That's awesome. But what they're also looking for is, why did you get those certifications? Kind of go into explaining why a little bit. And it's best if you have teaching experience to go with it. So for example, TESOL. A TESOL is a huge one, especially in the ESL world. So if you're a Palfish teacher, VIP Kid teacher, whatever, that is a big one to put on the application, right? Because it's teaching related. So if you just put, I have a TESOL since 2015, they're gonna say, cool. But explain why. It's not a bad answer necessarily, but it could be better, and you're gonna make it better, okay? Especially if you're reapplying. So explain, I received a TESOL certificate in 2015 so that I could teach on Palfish. Palfish is a online teaching company where you teach Chinese children English, blah, 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 blah. So explain. Thanks. Same with the degrees, any programs that you did in college. So say like, in college, I got my degree in children's education and I worked at a daycare. Cool. Go into more experience, like, like, why did you get that degree? How did that degree impact and play a role in teaching kids? Does that make sense? Or even if you're a mechanical engineer, they have this example on the, I forget what the article is called, but it's on my application page on my website, Catherine Davis with 3 S's. Check it out. Very helpful. But Outschool has Outschool has articles that go into what makes a great application, and they have bomb examples, and one of them is a mechanical engineer. So go look at that example. Go look at that whole thing for all these questions. So that's my spiel on question 2 about degrees and certifications. Explain why you got them and how they played a role in teaching if you can. Passions, the next one. So for this one, sometimes people just put 1 passion, sometimes they just put 2. I highly suggest you put 3 to 4 passions. Why? Because Outschool wants to get a good picture of you. This is basically your interview. You're never going to sit down and talk with them face to face, but they want to get to know you as best as they can, and this is pretty much the only way besides the application video, which I'll get to in a moment. But so in this, don't just say, I love writing, writing is my passion, I've written stories, blah, blah, blah. That's amazing, but add on 3 other passions, okay? Just because they want to know what else that you've done. What else are you interested in? What else might you teach on Outschool? You don't have to write your class on all 3 of these. You're just going to pick one and do your class on one of these things, but just give them a broader picture of you than just one of the things that you love. Yeah, like I would put makeup. I love makeup. I love to travel. I love to make videos. I'm a YouTuber. I would put that. And sure, I love animals. I have a cat, and I've volunteered at shelters and stuff like that. And also you want to go into your experience. So for each of these, like the first one, I would separate each passion into a separate paragraph, okay? And your last paragraph, I would make a full 5-sentence at least paragraph explaining why you love whatever you love. So for me, it would be makeup. I would have a whole paragraph on makeup, why I love it, my experience with it, that I was a makeup artist for 7 years, and you know, I have all this experience with makeup. I've worked with people in makeup, I've done people's makeup for special occasions, and blah blah blah. I would explain my background and experience with it, because you don't need a certification or degree to do any of this or to teach on Outschool, but they want to know that you are familiar with it, that you have hands-on experience. So you want to include all that hands-on experience into that paragraph. Does that make sense? Don't just say, I love makeup, it's so pretty. They don't care. They know that. Also, I'm not loving my makeup today. Side note, it's a little too... I had a new makeup palette and I'm not a fan. So anyway, moving on. Not why you clicked on this video, but I'm not loving it. Not my fave. That's what I would do for the last paragraph. For the other 2 to 3 passions that you're gonna write on here, I would make it maybe 2 to 3 sentences long for each one. It doesn't have to be as big or as in-depth as the last paragraph, because also the last paragraph, I recommend, that's your biggest passion, that's your favorite, that's the one you want to teach your class on. So you're going to use everything in that to support the class description, which I'm going to get into next. But before we jump into that, let's talk about the other 2 or 3 passions that are going to preface that last paragraph. Like I was saying, at least 2 to 3 sentences for each, and just explaining, you know, why you love that passion, your experience, and how you've worked with that passion. So like for me, one of them would be traveling. I would explain, I lived in the Philippines for 4 months. I studied abroad in France for a summer. I have been to Ireland. I love to experience new cultures. I know how to get the best deals on airlines, and I know all these tips and tricks that I would love to share with people, stuff like that. Same with YouTube. I would say, I am proficient, is that the right word? I feel like that's the right word, in Final Cut Pro and Photoshop and how to edit and stuff like that. Another huge tip, because it just annoys me when I see it. I don't know why, it shouldn't annoy me, but it does. But another huge tip that I would not include on the application, just because I don't think, and this is just me talking, okay, this is a personal thing that I wouldn't do, and I suggest you don't do either. But don't say, I hope to teach this, or I will be a great asset to your company because, or, I hope to teach all this, or, I hope, or I would be a great asset. I wouldn't preface things with like that. When I hear I hope, to me it says not confident, as in you're not gonna get this job. You're like, I hope I get it, but you're not like, I got it, okay? I am a teacher. I hope that makes sense. Again, that's a personal thing. You live your life, and if you got in with that, cool. But I wouldn't. People who send me that, I'm like, take that out now. I hate it. Go, bye. But yeah. A lot of people sometimes put like, I love art. I love video games, but they don't explain their experience with video games. They don't explain, how often they play video games or anything like that. They're like, I would be a great asset to your company because other kids like video games, and I know I could teach video games very well. No. That's not what they're asking for in this question. Do not put crap like that, okay? Okay. Again, for passions, have at least 3 to 4 passions. Have your last one be a mega paragraph. Have the other one have at least 2 or 3 supporting sentences to support your experience and background in it, to show Outschool that you are hands-on in that passion, that, you're not just saying, oh, I like elephants, I'd love to teach them about that, but you've never even seen an elephant. I hope that makes sense. I don't know if it does, but they just want to know that you're a well-rounded person, and they want to have an idea of what other classes that you'll teach on Outschool. And if you have no idea, again, watch my experience, watch my what to teach on Outschool video. Very helpful to explore what you want to teach about. And also on that question, they have a link that connects you to the student requests and teacher or parent requests, and you can look at the classes that kids want to take and maybe get inspiration off that. But don't BS your answer, okay? Definitely put things that you're passionate about. Don't put things that you think sound good. I go into that a lot in my other videos, so I'm gonna end that there. Again, this video is gonna be 18 billion years long, but yeah. The class. So the class description. Now, my biggest suggestion here is make it simple. How do you make it simple? Just make it a one-time class. A one-time class. Do you hear me? Make it a one-time class. I think people are really passionate about what they want to teach, and they have so many ideas, and they want to put all their ideas in one class, and so it turns into a multi-day class or a super long class, and that makes it more complicated. It makes it harder to look at. It's just, stop. You can do all that stuff once you're in. We're just talking about getting your foot into the door. Just make it a one-time class. One time, and make it about the thing that you're most passionate about, which ideally would be the last mega paragraph in the question before this one. Since it is a one-time class, because I'm telling you, just do a one-time class, it makes your life 10 billion times easier. You're not gonna have any homework, just don't have any homework. Again, make it easier on yourself. Once you're in, you can assign all the homework you want. I don't care. But if you want to get in, don't assign homework. Why? Just to make it easier on yourself. It's not a big deal if you do, but I say just drop it. It's a waste of time to explain to them what the homework is and how you're going to grade it and all that crap. Drop it. And don't start your class with like, remember in the last class, or remember how to do this. No, because it's a one-time class and students just show up one time, okay? So they're just gonna show up for that one class. Again, please don't do multi-day classes. It's possible to do that on your application, but I'm telling you, keep it simple. And again, on my website, Catherine Davis with 3 S's, and on Outschool's website, but you know, this article is linked on my website, go to, it's called Sample Class Listings. Super helpful. Go to the one-time one. It helps you. You just need 1 to 2 paragraphs for one-time classes, and this is what you need to include in these paragraphs. So this is also super important. Outschool's looking for a class description, okay? They don't want a lesson plan. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I don't entirely know what all a lesson plan encompasses. I was never a legit brick and mortar teacher, so I don't entirely know what a lesson plan is. Like, I do, but like, I don't know what one looks like, but I feel like I've seen them because that's what people send me sometimes. I got that tip from Casey Oswald, I want to say her name is. Love her, she's super sweet. She's on YouTube too, but she made a video saying, like, you know, she applied to Outschool like 3 or 4 times, something like that. She kept sending in lesson plans, and when she changed it to a description, she got in. So she said, that's a huge tip. Again, go follow Casey, she's cool. Make it a description, meaning it's like 1 to 2 paragraphs long. In this description, you need to explain how you're gonna teach. Don't just list things that you're gonna teach. So let's take my improv class, for example. I'm not gonna say, in improv class, we'll go over yes and, commercials, the one-word game, scenes from a hat. No. Why? Because number 1, and most importantly, Outschool does not like bullet point lists. Do not send them bullet point lists. Your entire application needs to be written out, eloquent paragraphs, sentences, sentences. So you're gonna write it out in sentences. Also, don't just say, you know, we're gonna learn about lights. We're gonna learn about electricity. How are they gonna learn about electricity? Obviously, you're gonna explain a little bit about what the class is about. You know, you're gonna say, this class is about how electric currents go through and make light bulbs light up. After you kind of give like a little like 1 to 2 sentences about what the class is about, then you need to explain how you will teach this class. How? Do not say, I will make class fun. They don't care. They don't care. They want to hear how you will make class fun. I feel like I keep saying this, but my other biggest advice here is to make classes engaging and interactive, because that's kind of Outschool style. Again, it's different. That's what differentiates them from brick and mortar school, because that's typically more lecture style. Outschool kind of wants it to be a fun learning environment, so they want, you know, the kids to get involved more. Now, is that how you have to teach every class? No, you can definitely have lecture classes, blah, 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 but I'm just saying, to get your foot in the door, they like it when you say, we will play games to learn how electric currents travel through light bulbs. I don't know. I don't know how that works, but, you know, don't just say that, explain what the games are. Say, we will play the light bulb game, and then explain in a paragraph form how you play the light bulb game, how the kids will learn this. If you have a Google slide, explain that you have a Google slide, have something that the kids can follow along with. Explain what's on that Google slide. If you're gonna have a worksheet, explain what's on that worksheet. Explain how, not what they will learn. I really hope that makes sense. How? How are you gonna make it fun? You're gonna play games. You're gonna do trivia. What are the games? You're going to explain what the games are and how to play the games. You're going to do the trivia. Explain what the trivia is and how the trivia goes and all that stuff. Do not say, I will make class fun. I am a joy in class. I am a fun teacher, because that doesn't tell them anything. Okay? Everyone says that. You're white noise. All right? Explain how. And how do you do that? By explaining what the games are, explaining all that fun stuff. Okay? And again, if you have, if you plan on having a Google slide, explain that. All of the things. And this is important because this is how you're gonna do your application video. Now, this video is very long, so I'm gonna make a whole different video about the application video, so watch that next. It is very informative. So yeah. But those are the biggest mistakes that I see when people send me their applications, especially if you're trying to reapply to Outschool. Definitely take everything that I've said into consideration when writing your application. I feel like a lot of people fail on the writing part because of they don't do the things I just mentioned, or they do the opposite of what I suggest in this video. So don't do that. Go do what I just said. Because after I make these suggestions, people typically get in. So yes, and again, like I said earlier, if you'd like to apply to Outschool, please use the link below. It helps me, and in return, I help you, and I can look over and critique your application as well if you are a referral of mine. And if you've already applied but did not use me as a referral, you can still add me as a referral, and all that is described below. So yeah, check out the next video for the biggest mistakes I see on people's application videos and how to fix it. And thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and give this video a big thumbs up. It helps me, and I'll see you in my next video. Okay, bye.